Easter is right around the corner, and just in case you don't want to do a traditional ham and your particular sides, if you're looking for something just a little bit different, today I've got the video for you. We are making a non-traditional Easter dinner. We've got our entree, which was so incredibly good. We are keeping the tradition alive with deviled eggs because we love deviled eggs so much. So I'm gonna be making those today with you. And then we've got a couple of different sides that we're making too. So all of it is very easy, and it's just a great option if you're looking for something other than ham for Easter. Give this video a thumbs up if you're ready for Easter and you're so glad spring is here. Make sure that you subscribe before you leave today, and let's get started. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Easter dinner coming right up. Non-traditional Easter dinner. First things first, I need to get the Instant Pot out. I'm gonna do our deviled eggs, get those going so that they can chill and be in the fridge. Also need to throw these frozen green beans in the microwave to thaw. I'm gonna do my green beans, however, I'm gonna use frozen instead of canned this time. I don't know that I've ever tried that, but we're gonna cook them low and slow, so it should be just as good. I'm gonna throw these in the microwave to thaw and get my Instant Pot out. So when I do my deviled eggs in the Instant Pot, I just do the 5-5-5 method. I set it to high pressure for 5 minutes, then I'll let it naturally release for 5 minutes, and then we'll put it in an ice bath for 5 minutes. Now that we've got the eggs going, let's start on our green beans so they can cook low and slow. I'm going to heat this to about medium high, and we're gonna start on some bacon. So I use about 3 pieces of bacon. You can use as much as you want, or a little hack, if you have bacon grease, if you don't have time to cook them as low and as slow, then you can just use bacon grease and that still gets that flavor in there for you. So sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but today we are. Gonna add a little bit of diced onion over there with our bacon that's going. So he's gonna dice that up for us and we're gonna add that to it. So we're just gonna let this cook until the bacon is pretty much done, and then we'll add in our green beans and the other ingredients. I would like to thank Caraway for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Did you know that 95% of home goods are made with toxic materials like Teflon? And over 70% of the fry pans sold in America have Teflon. You probably have one in your kitchen. I know I had them in my kitchen for the longest time. We purchased them because they're cheap and we're told they're non-stick. So win-win, right? But did you know that with a single scratch on the Teflon pan, you're releasing over 9,000 microplastics into the air, never mind whatever is being released into your food as you're cooking it. So as I learned more about the dangers of cooking with Teflon, I wanted to go more on the non-toxic route. Enter Caraway. I've been using their cookware for, I think, over 2 years now, maybe 2.5 years, and I absolutely love it. I get asked all of the time by people who come over, by you guys, what cookware do you use? Not only is it beautiful, but it's non-toxic and it's non-stick. Not only do I have their cookware set, I have their mini duos set. I have their cookware, I think it's the Cookware Plus set. I have their bakeware too. I don't have to grease the bakeware at all. Everything just comes right off. And because nothing sticks to it, it makes cleanup super easy. More recently, in my last couple of videos, you've probably seen this canister set back here. That is a new release from Caraway. It is their glass airtight storage containers. It comes with this beautiful tray that kind of corrals it. You could definitely put it in your pantry, but I love the look of it on my counter. And I was able to put all of my dry goods in there, dry goods that we use frequently. So now they're right here. It's pretty. It's almost like decor, but it's super functional. And I know no toxins are leaking into my foods, and it's airtight, so it keeps moisture out, pests out. It's really nice. So if you are looking to ditch the toxins in your kitchen and go for non-toxic, non-stick cookware that's gonna last you a long time, I highly recommend checking out Caraway. If you don't know where to start, their cookware set has a fry pan, a saute pan, a saucepan, and a Dutch oven. They all come with lids, and they come with storage organizers. That's one of the things that sets Caraway apart. I love that they think about storage as well. And when you buy that cookware set all together, you save 20%, plus you can use my discount code and stack on top of that. So if you go to carawayhome.com/mandyinthemaking and you use the code Mandy, you're gonna save an additional 10% on any product site-wide. We love our Caraway pots and pans, our bakeware, our canisters. Everything that they have is just top notch. I think you'll enjoy it too. All right, so now we're gonna add in our green beans. And again, this is my first time trying the fresh kind of frozen green beans. I'm excited. And then we fill it up with a little bit of chicken broth, and then we add some seasonings. So I grabbed my brown sugar, add about that much, maybe a little bit more. About a tablespoon. We also add some garlic powder and some salt and pepper. And we're gonna bring this up to a little simmer, and then we'll turn it down and just let it slowly just kind of simmer while the rest of everything else is cooking for the next 30 to 45 minutes. And basically the goal is to get the liquid to cook out. So this is boiling pretty well now. Give it a good stir. And we're just gonna turn the heat down a little bit, probably about medium low, and just keep an eye on it. But this is gonna cook. It's just gonna hang out here. That liquid's gonna evaporate while we're doing everything else. But now it's time to finish up the deviled eggs. This little deviled egg tray came from the Dollar Tree years and years ago. Look, it's been washed a gazillion times. It still has that Sure Fresh sticker, a little bit of it on there, from the Dollar Tree. I paid $1 for this thing, and I've had fancier ones that I hated. Love this thing. I don't even know if they still carry it. Let me know if they do. I have 2 of them because usually when we're doing family events, I have to have 2 plus some because of my daddy. Let's get these out and crack them. So to crack my eggs, all I do is kind of tap it on each end, and then I roll it very gently, and then it just kind of comes off pretty easily. Ta-da! The way I have learned to cut these is kind of like an avocado. So you cut it all the way around instead of in the middle, because if you do it in the middle, then you go through the yolk and it gets kind of messy. So if you do it this way, sometimes it'll come out, oh, I don't even have a bowl to put the yolks in. I'm just too focused on everything else. Sometimes it'll come out like this, and other times the yolk will be completely intact. Less messy this way. You don't get it all over your knife if you just kind of easily run it around just the edge. See how that one did? I love it when it does that. Okay, so let's mix up the middle. I keep mine very basic. I like super creamy deviled eggs. Let me know below. Do you like yours to have relish or onion or anything in it? I don't like that. I like mine to be very creamy. So I'm gonna go in just with this fork really quick and just mash up the yolks. Yolks. How do you say that? Yolks? Yolks. First goes in some mayonnaise. I usually am making a lot more than this, so I've got to remember to keep these measurements less than I'm used to. Also gonna go in with just a little bit of yellow mustard, then salt and pepper. And then something that I love in my deviled eggs is for it to have that tartness. I love using apple cider vinegar. So we're just gonna put a splash of that in there, and then we'll stir it around, taste it, see how creamy it is, see if we need to add anything. Okay, we need a little more creaminess. So I'm gonna add a little more mayonnaise. And anytime I add more mayonnaise, I also add just a little more mustard. And then you have to taste test it because you have to know if you got the right amount of apple cider vinegar in there. So let's see, perfect tartness. It's so good. All right, let me grab a Ziploc bag. Kind of create my own little piping bag. That's just the easiest way to do it. Grab a cup, put your Ziploc bag kind of over the edge. There we go. And let's fill that with our deviled eggs. Okay, let's just pipe this in. Last step, paprika, of course. Okay, these are going in the fridge till we're ready to eat. I cannot wait. Trying to time everything out. So we've got the chicken left, and then we also have our roasted sweet potatoes that we're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and prep our roasted sweet potatoes so that we can kind of get the chicken going and all of that can go on around the same time. Okay, so Steven had a request. I was just gonna do cubed sweet potatoes. He said, can we kind of do them in strips, kind of like carrots since it's Easter? I said, sure. So that's what we're gonna attempt to do. Me and Steven are the only ones that are gonna eat sweet potatoes. Cole is not a fan. It's not the easiest in the world. All right, so I'm gonna let him get started on that while I finish getting all of the ingredients for our chicken. So I'll show you the finished product of these in just a second. And since there's not a lot of these, we're gonna use this little silicone dish in our air fryer. And I'm just gonna toss them here in this dish so I don't have to dirty up something else with our seasonings and our olive oil. So I'm gonna go over it with just a little olive oil, go in, just toss it with my hands. There we go. Now let's put some seasonings on there. A little salt, pepper, some smoked paprika. We're gonna do something fun with this at the end. Something a little bit different. Steven kind of came up with this idea, so make sure you pay attention after they're cooked. Okay, there we go. Let's toss that around, turn these over and get them seasoned on the other side, basically. Okay, those are ready. I'm just gonna set these to the side and we're gonna prep our chicken dish. So to get started, we are making this pesto Parmesan chicken. We need some thin chicken breasts. I've got 2 large chicken breasts here, so I'm gonna cut them in half and then we're gonna pound them out so they're even on their thickness, or thinness, I guess I should say. Let me get some plastic wrap. Pound this out. Okay, that looks good. So I'm gonna set those to the side and do the other chicken breast. Gonna put my large skillet here. We're gonna heat it to about medium-high because we're going to kind of sear. We're gonna cook the chicken, but we're gonna brown it and kind of pan fry it here. So we need to get this good and hot. Now, before we put this in our skillet, we're gonna season it a little bit. It does not say to, and we are adding a good bit of seasonings later to the dish itself, but I just can't stick just plain chicken in the skillet. I just can't do it. So salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, and finally, a couple things. Poultry seasoning, if you've got that, and then finally some paprika. Paprika gives it a good color in the pan. We really love to put paprika on chicken, okay? And we're gonna flip it. So our pan is getting there. We're gonna add some oil. You can do butter if you want to. Just need to grease it a little bit. And we're gonna work in batches because you don't wanna overcrowd the pan. And you're gonna be cooking the chicken, taking it out and transferring it to a plate, doing the other stuff, and then adding it back in. So it's okay that we're gonna do it in batches. It doesn't really matter. Now that we've got our chicken going, I'm gonna preheat our air fryer to 400. Let's check it and see what it looks like. Oh, that's pretty. Let's turn that over. Look at that pretty color. Let's check on the chicken again. And just be aware, I wash these in between if I'm turning them and one side is raw. You don't want to then grab cooked chicken with them, so I wash them in between. Oh, it's turning out so pretty. Let me get my thermometer and we'll see where we're at. So I just flipped them again. You just want to keep flipping them frequently. You don't want them to burn on one side. We were almost there on temperature. They're just about done. I'm gonna give them about 1 more minute and we're gonna pull them off. This is preheated, so let's drop this in here. This is gonna cook at 400 for about, we'll do 13 minutes. So I'm gonna put these on a plate, set them to the side. We're gonna tent them with some aluminum foil. But first, I want to get our other chicken on there. We got plenty of olive oil in there. There we go. I'm going to add just a little bit more oil to the pan as well as to the chicken. Flip that. So that's the last of the chicken. Now let's throw some mushrooms in here. You need about a ½ cup of sliced mushrooms. I used the help from the grocery store. Just kind of coat it in there. We're going to deglaze the pan in just a second. I want to get these going. And then we're also going to throw in the garlic, but I'm going to wait just a second because that will burn if we're not careful. Let's add just a little more olive oil. These are gonna cook for about 3 minutes to really soften up. That last minute we'll add in the garlic. Okay, so let's throw in our garlic. I've got a couple of cloves that I minced earlier. Throw that in. And then we're also gonna immediately go in with a little bit of pesto. You want about 1/3 cup of pesto. That should be about right. It's a little hot. Okay, we're gonna go in with our chicken broth as well. I got 1/3 cup of chicken broth. Now this is where we're gonna deglaze that pan. I scrape the bottom. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. We're gonna let this hang out for a couple of minutes, and then we'll add in some heavy cream too. So we've got about 1/3 cup of heavy cream going in. We really wanna combine that and let that warm through. And then once it gets nice and hot, we're gonna add in some Parmesan cheese. I did grate a little bit of Parmesan cheese a little earlier. That is bubbling, which means it's nice and hot. Let's add in some Parmesan cheese. You only need about 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna save the last little bit to put on top of the chicken at the end. Let's just stir that through and let that melt, which it's doing really quickly. Now we're gonna go back in with our chicken. At this point we can crowd the pan because the chicken is already cooked. I'm just kind of putting it in there, stirring it around and then flipping it so it gets coated in that flavor. And then sprinkle that last little bit of Parmesan cheese over the top. And then this is gonna hang out on low for just a couple of minutes. We just wanna heat that chicken back through, and then it's gonna be time to eat. Well, instead of carrots, they just look like sweet tater fries, but that's okay. So remember I told you earlier we were gonna add a little something special to our sweet potatoes? I've got a little feta cheese here, and we're gonna drizzle it with a little hot honey. What is happening?
It is time to eat. Okay, first things first, chicken.
Okay. So happy Easter a little early.
Happy Easter.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy on this not Easter day.
Right, and this non-traditional Easter dinner. But
Okay.
hey,
You know, I have no idea what this is going to taste like. This chicken,
yeah.
I don't know.
Man, that
about-
pesto.
Yeah, talk about fresh.
That is delicious.
I'm so glad.
The pesto had just so much flavor.
Yeah.
It's got kind of this nutty, buttery garlic flavor to it, you know?
Right.
That is amazing. The
Good.
sauce is the boss.
Good.
The mushrooms, nice touch.
Yeah.
That is really good.
All right.
Very interesting.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you can take a bite of that, that's
Okay. No, go ahead.
fine. But let's try the
Yeah, sweet potatoes?
sweet potatoes with our feta cheese and the hot honey.
Yeah. Mmm. Man, that is delicious.
Yeah?
Feta cheese, a little saltiness
Yeah.
added to it, plus the sweet and the smoky.
I thought you said the sweetness monkey.
The sweetness monkey.
The sweetness monkey.
I really did. It's like, what is he talking about?
Somebody brought in a sweetness monkey in here.
You said sweet and smoky. Sorry.
Sweet and smoky.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is. The feta just gives it a little bit of the, saltiness because
Right.
of, so salty, sweet, a little bit of smokiness in there.
Good.
All right, you need to get to eating.
That
know,
is
I do.
delicious. All right,
You gonna do that double
double
day?
day. We're going to pop this one like an aspirin tablet.
Steven, don't you? Oh my gosh. Do not choke. Okay, and then get some green
Oh,
beans.
man.
Yeah, we love those deviled eggs.
Oh, wow, that's a really good little pop here. Okay, green beans.
Green beans, using frozen green beans instead of canned.
Oh, man, that is delicious. They're just as good as they normally are.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
Man.
Now that he's pretty much finished the whole meal, I'm going to take my first bite. I'll be back.
Don't be judging.
What just happened there?
Don't be judging.
He said, mo feta is mo beta, and he went and got
And
the
everybody,
whole thing.
everybody right now just stood up with their hands in the air and said, amen to that. Man, yeah.
I have
Oh,
to
no.
agree. These are delicious with that hot honey on top and the feta. Yes. There you have it. We enjoyed this non-traditional Easter dinner, and I hope you will too. Even if you don't make it for Easter, I highly recommend, especially, goodness gracious, that pesto Parmesan chicken It is so delicious. Let me know your Easter traditions below, and I hope you have a great weekend. We will see you next time. Bye, y'all.